Hey guys, welcome back to Snowball Investing. This is going to be the December 2023 portfolio update. It's a bit of a special one because I finally hit that £100,000 milestone. That's spread across all my different portfolios, which I'll walk through. I am recording this on the Thursday, so some of these prices may fluctuate and I may dip under 100,000, but technically I have hit that milestone. So why is that first 100k such a milestone? It's probably because it's the hardest and it gets easier from there due to compound interest. I think Charlie Munger said it best, rest in peace. The first 100k is a bitch, but you've got to do it. No matter what you've got to do in terms of saving, scraping, the pennies, you've got to reach that first 100k and then it gets much easier from there. And I think the best way to understand that is actually with illustrations. So this is a very nice diagram from the Real Estate Financial Planner website. Making the assumption you are saving $10,000 or pounds every year at 7% interest rate, you can see that first 100,000 takes the longest. So it takes roughly 7.84 years. And then from 100,000 to 200,000, that gets reduced down to 5.1 year. And then it reduces it from there. And you can see even at 400,000 to 500,000, that is only 2.5 years. The reason for that is compound interest. And that snowball effect of compound interest doesn't really kick in until 100,000. From 0 to 100,000, you're actually contributing 70% of that total amount. But from 0 to 500,000, you're only contributing 44% of that total amount. And that snowball effect just gets greater and greater and greater. And that's why you really want to push for that £100,000 initially, and then it gets much easier from then on. So with that in mind, let's jump into the stocks and shares ISA. So the value of this sits at £73,186, and this portfolio is up by £19,924. Comparing the ISA to the FTSE All ETF, from a time weighted rate of return point of view, my portfolio is up by 17.11% in the past month, with the FTSE All ETF is up by 5.04%. On a maximum time horizon, my portfolio is well outperforming, so it is up by 33.48%, where the FTSE All ETF is only up by 1.2% in that same time period. So taking a very quick look at the dividends for November, I got £6.44 for UK property. Apple, I've got a very small position in this, so only 34 pence for that. SL Green Realty is a monthly dividend, which is a very nice £12.82 in November. And Persimmon was £11. So overall, a very nice month for dividends. And looking at the past month's performance, it's been a pretty good month. Started the month around, 61,000 and a massive little run up, hitting a peak of 76,000, which I think is a new high, and had a slight retracement back to the value it is right now. So you may be shocked to hear that I actually sold a portion of my PALANTIR position, even though it wasn't a large amount. So when it had that run up to $21, just before the NHS announcement, I actually sold £2,000 worth of PALANTIR, and after that point the stock did tumble down just a touch. So why did I sell a portion of my PALANTIR position? I think personally at the $21 range it was getting to that overvalued state, and to be honest, no one got hurt taking a profit. I sold £2,000, which is probably less than 5% of the overall position. I'm still very heavily convicted in the stock long term. I would buy back in if there was a retracement down to the kind of $14, $15 range. But at the minute, I think there's a lot of euphoria in the market, and I want to keep some cash on the sidelines. So that's why I sold that small portion, but again, very bullish on the company. Looking at some of these other positions, we've got the FTSE All ETF, that's up 7.55%. SoFi up 3.11%. They are getting out of their crypto business, and I think ARK is now buying quite heavily into SoFi as well. I am nibbling on this stock, but I'm still waiting for better prices on this. SoFi tends to have a pattern where it kind of drops quite a lot before earnings. They have very good earnings and they pump up to, sort of $10, etc., and then fall back down. So I'm still holding out for better prices, but still very bullish on this company long term. Truist is doing quite well, so that's sitting at a position of £2,514 and is up 7.36%. Alphabet, that's up 5.85%. SL Green Realty, this has had a nice run up recently, so that's up 30.49%. PayPal is one of the few stocks that I've been buying in the past month, and the reason for that is I still think it's undervalued. Even from their share buybacks alone, I think we're going to get quite a lot of share appreciation. So the value of this is £1,882. We are down 19.63%, but long term, I really have no concerns that this isn't going to go in the green, and we're going to make I think a fairly tidy sum profit in the near future. The big tech is still doing very well. I mean, Nasdaq is up 11.87%, Meta's up 68%, Microsoft's up 39%, even Tesla's now in the green at plus 10%. I am no longer buying big tech. I think it's reached quite fair valuations now. I think there are other better deals in the market, but I'm absolutely not selling at these. I think long term they're going to continue to grow, and they're going to be a great position to hold long term. DraftKings is up the most of any of my positions in any of my portfolios, so that's up a very nice tidy 130%. Disney doing okay, so that's up 9% at a value of £829. UK property, that's up 5.32%. There's not too much volatility in the UK market. There's nothing in the UK market that really excites me at the minute. However, if there is a deterioration in the UK market and there are some really good deals out there, I won't hesitate to buy them. Dutch Bros, that sits at a value of £705 and is up 9.17%. We have Enphase Energy, which has had a bit of a recovery in the past month. I was down 20-25% at one point. I didn't panic, I didn't sell. Again, some of these stocks I buy for a very long-term horizon, so fluctuations, even within months or years, doesn't bother me too much. And I expect as interest rates lower even more, we'll see this go back to kind of all-time highs. And you can see some of the other smaller positions. Persimmon's in the green by 14%. AMD performing quite well, that's down 34%. Intel up 17%. Apple, again, I got a dividend from that, but it's a very small position. Boohoo hasn't really moved for a while. Blocks had a bit of a recovery. And the other new position in my ISA is Rocket Labs USA. So this was in my GIA, but I sold out of that and moved it into the ISA. So currently a small position, but looking to build this out into a much bigger one. So that concludes the Stocks and Shares ISA. Given me selling out of a small position of Palantir, I'm currently sitting around £7,000 worth of cash. I am building up that cash position because I think there will be some opportunities in the market and I just want to have some cash handy. But that concludes the ISA, so let's move over to the general investment account. The value of the GIA sits at £14,776 and is up by £2,676. Similar to the ISA, it's had a pretty decent month. I mean, start the month around 13,700, hitting a peak of over 15,000 and having a small retracement back, but overall performing quite well. Looking at the comparisons to the FTSE All-World ETF, it's slightly outperforming at plus 7.75% in the past month. However, over the maximum time horizon, which is since December of 2021, it is up by 26.44%, where the FTSE All-World ETF is only up by 1.2%. Looking at the positions, not much has changed because I am no longer adding any money into this portfolio. Any additional money will probably go straight into my Vanguard account. But having a quick look through, Meta, absolute beast as it is up 110%. So that sits now at a value of £4,290. Alphabet is up 18.25%. Amazon's doing quite well now, so that's up 36%. Enphase Energy still in the red, although this was down like 40% at one point. Again, not concerned over short-term fluctuations, especially with the interest rates as they are. But again, a decent position at £1,965. Microsoft is up 41%, Intel up 27%, Starbucks up 24%, but again, smaller position. JP Morgan's up 26%. And then you've got the run to the litter, which is NEO, which is down 65%. Still bag holding this position. That was a very quick whistle-stop tour of the GIA. So now let's take a look at the Vanguard investment account. the value of the Vanguard account sits at £12,577, and this is not an ISA, so it doesn't have that tax efficient wrap around it. This was just extra money I had on top of my limit of the ISA, which is obviously with Freetrade. So the majority of these holdings is in the S&P 500 index fund. So the value of that is 12,357, and I'm in the green by £1,067. I do continue to add £200 every single month straight into the S&P 500, and it's a what I call set it and forget it account. I'll look back at this in 10 to 20 years, and the snowball effect of compounding will pay off. So that concludes the December portfolio update. Hopefully that's been useful, hopefully that's been entertaining, and I'll see you in the next month's update.